Hello, my name is Selena.
And my name's Theoni, and you are listening to Piping Hot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Piping Hot. If you're listening to this episode, hopefully you've listened to part 1 that was released last week.
And if you haven't, then that makes no fucking sense.
Because we're literally starting with chapter 15 of Love Theoretically, so...
Yeah. I'm really excited to continue our conversation. It's interesting because I was having a rough time when we started the first half of this episode, and usually we record it all in one day. So it's interesting that we're breaking it up, but I'm also kind of excited to see how that works out.
Yeah, because we usually record them back to back, but now, listeners, we're recording it on a different day.
Oh my god, this is very exciting.
But yeah, I'm excited because the second half is when it starts getting interesting,
crazy.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but we'll dive into it, starting with chapter 15. So
Alrighty. Here
is my synopsis. Elsie and Jack wake up together and spend breakfast together. Oh, wow, we're starting here. I personally forgot. They spend breakfast together where Jack not only asks her out, but Jack offers her a job in his lab as a theorist. Elsie turns him down for both offers. Then they head over to his grandmother's Millicent's house. What is wrong with me?
Oh my god.
I'm going to keep going, okay?
Melissa's house.
She has a tendency to trap Jack into weekend plans. Elsie learns that as a kid, Jack was told not to call Caroline his mother, which caused him to feel othered in his family. Elsie finally caves in and allows Jack to take her out. The way they wake up has me gagged.
I know.
They're on the couch, right? That's where we ended. And she wakes up and they're spooning and he's hard. And then he tells her that she smells good. What?
There's something. Let me tell you something. There's something about... there's something just about mornings. I don't know what it is, but it's just like... I don't know. Everyone's at their most relaxed. So, like, when he says that, or, like, he literally has, like, no control.
There's something just, like, unfiltered about it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a perfect word for it.
And then she proceeds to get up and leave. And I'm like, Elsie, girl, I don't know what you're thinking, because I would have not left.
That's one thing. People be saying these men are unrealistic, these... whatever is unrealistic. You know what's unrealistic about these romance books is that these girls don't fold immediately.
Exactly. Like, how do you
how
have
much
such
resistance
a backbone?
do you have? No, literally. I would never.
I don't have a spine. I don't have a spine.
I would literally... No willpower, no spine, no self-control.
Yeah, exactly.
None of the
exactly.
above. Yep.
Okay. On page 199. So this is when she comes back downstairs and he's like in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Okay. By the time I crawl downstairs, Jack's moving around the kitchen, phone lodged between shoulder and ear, laughing softly and saying, "Since you're staying 3 days, we..." Who the fuck was he talking to?
Wait,
because we never find. He's talking on the phone and he's like laughing softly and he says, "Since you're staying 3 days, we..." He turns around. When he notices me standing at the bottom of the staircase, his smile fades. And then he says, "Need to go. See you next week." Jack puts down his phone, then slides a mug of coffee across the kitchen island.
Did that ever come back into play?
I have no clue.
I honestly don't remember.
Because my question was, like, did we ever get that closure? Because I feel like the way that he is talking, it's like he's talking to, like, a girlfriend or, like, a little fling that he has. And I'm like, I don't know.
You're not wrong, but I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
So I can't help you there.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, page 200. Can I make you breakfast? Oh, I shake my head even as my stomach growls. I'm fine. I may please watch you eat something. Bam. Dimple. It'll be good for my mental health. That's fake. What in the... Who wants to to watch me eat, Theoni? No one. That is the answer. Who says that?
Someone who cares.
I was like laughing because I couldn't tell if it like I thought it was dumb or that it was so fake or that I was jealous or like all of the above, you know?
No, I know, literally. He's just so thoughtful. I even have a note for chapter 15. I don't remember what this was in relation to, but I know at some point in this chapter, he like made her tea because she doesn't like coffee. Like he is just so thoughtful.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, I said the whole interaction between them on page 202 and page 203 is amazing. It reminds me how good Allie Hazelwood is at this banter shit. Ugh, like he's teasing her. And she just can't handle it. Ugh, I can't handle it. Damn, Selena. Okay. These notes are different on a second day, okay?
No, they are. It's so different. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, this is on page 203. Sorry, I was looking at 202. My dumbass. Okay.
Yeah, you're dumbass. Just kidding.
Okay, page 203. She says, I think a lot about how much I hate you. I say with no conviction. I think a lot about how much you hate me too. His smile is tender. Like, he's living for it. He's eating the shit up.
No, he
like
does.
Constantly.
He loves that he's like slowly breaking her down.
Yes.
And it's so obvious. Like, he eats it up. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I really don't.
When I first read that his phone kept buzzing when he was like driving in the car, I was like, is this the same person as before? Like, who is calling you?
Insistent?
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? Mm-hmm. Also, I have a note that Jack driving is so fucking hot. I'm sorry.
No, literally, there is something. Okay, you know what's hot though?
What?
Let me tell you. When a guy's driving with one hand on the wheel and his other hand is like on your leg.
Yes.
No. That shit will take me out.
No spine, remember? No spine.
No, literally, I
No
will
spine.
jump you. Like, I straight up, like, it's the little things. It really is.
When Millicent asks how long they've been doing it, and Elsie literally has, like, an aneurysm, I was living for it. I was like, this is so fun. And Jack is, like, eating it up, too. He's like, oh, no, we're not, like, whatever. But it's just so funny. I love it.
I know, and here's the thing, kind of like we were talking about last week with how I feel like this book has so many little characters or so many side things or whatever. I feel like Millicent is one. Neither of us can say this goddamn fucking name.
Melissa, that's her fucking name.
Fucking Melissa is here, and I do love a good old lady character who states it how it is. But like again, I'm just like, where did you come from getting off saying things like that?
Yeah, no, you're right. I was just gasping left and right when we learned about Jack's mom, that she was like a theorist, and Caroline was like so shitty to him when they like she married his dad, and I was like, is he okay? Like, I know. I feel like that's so much to have as like a kid who is still grieving, and then have this stepmom who literally does not give a shit about you. And I was like, I know. Holy crap.
Jack has been through a lot in his life.
Yeah, I just felt so bad. But I was happy, too, that we finally got, like, more backstory of him. So, okay. So I'm saying this because this will come back later. And actually, rereading this was very helpful because, I'll be honest with you, I was very confused at the end. But I'm saying this because it'll come back. When Elsie agrees to let Jack take her out, he says that she needs to be honest and not pretend that she's someone else when they're, like, together. And Elsie's like, cool, yeah, that works, but you have to be honest, too. And Jack says that he can't see himself lying to her. And rereading this, I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense.
That's so true. I never even thought of the lying part.
Yes,
that's what literally just said that.
So that's what I was confused about at the end, which we'll get to, but I wanted to state it because it comes back. But basically they agree that like they're not gonna lie to each other, they're gonna be authentic, all that stuff. And then they almost kiss at the end of the chapter, but then they don't, and that's how it fucking ends. So
cool. Love.
I know, right? Rude. Moving on to chapter 16. I don't have much for this, but I'll just go through it quickly. Elsie finally tells her mentor, Dr. L, that she didn't get the job, in which their understanding of Elsie's situation and wants now start to become apparent. Elsie formally gets the job rejection from Monica and finally gets an email from Greg. Cece offers to cover rent for her with a new job, and Jack texts her for their first date. I don't have much to add other than Dr. L can suck a dick and we need to protect Greg at all costs.
No, literally. No, that's so true.
Yeah.
God, Dr. L is the worst.
I hate him. And like I think this chapter 2 was a good little hint that like Elsie was starting to slowly allow herself to think for herself. Which obviously again comes back at the end, but I could see like the little like breadcrumbs. Mm-hmm. And then the only other thing that I have is that when she got the text from Jack, if she's like free tonight, I squealed because of course I'm free, you know? Like
you're like, you can take me out.
Yeah.
You have a Jack to take you out.
I know I do. Okay, but that's all that I have for chapter 16.
Alrighty, so we can just jump into 17 and 18. Mm-hmm. These chapters, I literally, it took me 20 years to get through them because I literally was like so emotional. Like, I literally was crying because I'm ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read chapter 17 and 18 like summary together.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So I'm already getting nauseous. Okay. Chapter 17 begins with Elsie getting ready for her date with Jack. To ease the tension, Jack takes her to a get-together with his friends where they run into Olive and Anna. They sorry. Okay. 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 They spend time discussing Olive and Adam's wedding details and discovering that even Olive knows about Jack's dating history or lack of long-term relationships. Elsie soon after finds herself in the kitchen with George, who invites her to lunch the following week. After this get-together, Elsie and Jack go out to dinner where they talk about Elsie's past with JJ and briefly bring up if Jack wants to have sex with Elsie.
Wait, what? Wait, say that again?
I don't understand. After this get-together, Elsie and Jack go out to dinner where they talk about Elsie's past with JJ and briefly bring up... Oh!
Yes, I remember.
Okay,
Yes,
me too.
I remember.
Okay, however, the server rudely interrupts them.
Yes.
In chapter 18, Elsie has lunch with Greg, who knows all about the dates and Jack's obsession with Elsie and is all for it. They decide to be real friends. Yay! Then Elsie has lunch with George, who teases her about Jack, but also offers her a real job doing exactly what she wants to be doing. Okay. A lot of notes for chapter 17 in particular. Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, I just have to say, Allie Hazelwood teased that Adam and Olive would be in this book.
Yes.
I did not think that they were going to be like written into a full scene. I was expecting like maybe Jack to get a phone call or for them to read like an article they did or like, I don't know, but something small. I was not expecting it to be this. So then when it kept going, I was like
a full blown conversation with Olive. Like I would kill to have that, and then we finally got it. I was like, wow, I didn't know I needed this.
No, literally, but I did, and I loved it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So starting with page 231, I just thought this comment was funny. Okay, so there's a paragraph here. It says, the cabin smells like leather, Jack, and bad ideas. I should say something. Hi, how are you? Did you have a good week? Favorite Teletubby? Off your elections thoughts? I've done this a million times, gone out with people, a million fake dates. Then why? Why? Why can't I? Why? I think, he drawls, I just heard your head explode. I love that. I don't know. It's just, again, another one of those little moments that I just like, and he's never judgmental about it.
No.
He just like I don't know. It's so funny.
It's disgusting.
I have to know it actually is disgusting. Everyone needs someone who will understand when they're overthinking and anxious and not judge them for it, you know?
Yeah, like just to let them be them, which again is why Jack is so perfect.
Okay, so page 233 is when Jack says, I Okay, this sentence alone, I knew it was coming when I heard this. One of the
Okay.
people visiting town is a biologist from Stanford. He's as tall as Jack. An impossibility, I thought, especially within the nerd community. This is Adam, Jake says. What?
I'm sorry, you're telling me Jack and Adam are standing in the same fucking room? I'm dead.
No, literally. And I would want to be because I can't handle it.
Me too.
Oh my
Like,
God.
are you
And
kidding
then,
me?
I know. And then it says intimidating, though the beautiful girl next to him looks anything but intimidated. And this is, she takes a step forward and enfolds Jack in a tight hug. Jack. He hugs her back with a smile. Hey, all, nice to see you. You're still putting up with this guy. Thank you for your service. Elsie, this is Olive Smith. And then they go in to talk about their frickin' like wedding date and wedding details, which I think is so cute. And then obviously later on, Olive is telling Elsie that she has this whole plan where she's just going to get married to him in the mountains because that's what he would want. And I was like, that's exactly what he would want.
Really? That's literally what Adam Carlson wants. Like, that's it.
God, I love them so much. Like, I wish I could just read this whole chapter with you right now. Like, it's just, because I want to point out every little detail. Okay. Okay, so page 235. This part sent me into the abyss. Okay. So let me just read a few lines. Graduate student, Adam and oh wait, no, okay. Oh, and how did you Adam meet again? He asked with the tone of someone who knows the answer full well. She grins. Why, Jack, Adam was a tenured professor, and I was but a lowly student. Graduate student, Adam interjects, speaking to me, and not my student, but in his department, Olive adds impishly. It was all very, very scandalous. Jack smiles. You should sell the movie rights, all. I'm hoping for a Netflix miniseries, something like Bridgerton, you know. When I was like, and it is going to be a movie.
I know, and it's so meta. It's so meta because it's like,
I know.
it is going to be a movie. I also love the fact that, like, Adam is there just correcting her. Like, not my student, graduate student. Yep. Like, all of a sudden, like, he needs the facts.
Blah, blah, blah. Exactly. Yeah. It's so them. And that's what I love about it. God, this scene is like, oh my God. Okay. Page 235. I don't need to read this, but basically, Elsie and Olive just start talking one-on-one, and I literally made a note. I said, as Olive and Elsie talk, it's like my two personalities colliding, LMAO, because I really relate to them both, and it was just really funny to see them in a scene. I was like, whoa, like, because you always wonder, like, oh, how would characters in the same universe interact, and then you actually get to hear it. It's like, whack.
It's crazy. Yeah. I know, but I was so surprised that we got that conversation, but I loved it. I feel like even though I think they're the same age, I feel like Olive really gave Elsie that confidence. Like just a little push. Like,
yeah. Okay. Page 238. I was triggered.
Okay.
This is what Olive said to Elsie, okay?
Okay.
Just, she chews on her lower lip, pensive. Academia is so hierarchical, you know. There are all these people who have power over you, who are supposed to guide you and help you become the best possible scientist, but sometimes they don't know what's best. Sometimes they don't care. Sometimes they have their own agenda. Her expression darkens. Sometimes they're total shit buckets who deserve to step on a pitchfork and die. I was like, Tom, I'm still gonna come for your ass. I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
I was immediately brought back to that, and I was like, wow, I'm still pissed.
Yeah. You're like, trauma.
Literally, I was like, I can't. Okay, page 239, there's just this line. It says, out of the corner of my eye, I notice Olive and Adam looking at me. No, at us, in a way I cannot quite understand. I don't know why, but just them watching Elsie and Jack play, it's like, it's too much for my brain to comprehend. Like, that's so cute. Because Olive and Adam are so solid now.
I know. It's so... And they just want their friend Jack to be happy.
It's damn. It's I can't... You know?
Yeah,
oh
yes, I know.
It's like, it's crazy. Okay. Page 242. Again, another Jack quote because why not?
Yeah.
Jack says, "Where to for dinner?" "Oh, I like everything." He merges into traffic. "Excellent. Some of my favorite stuff is everything. Now tell me what you want to eat."
I laughed so hard because again he
I did too.
knows her so well, but he's like just playing it up and just like, okay, well that's cool, but actually tell me. Like,
No,
what
literally,
do you want?
I love it. I love it.
Oh my
gosh. Page 245. "I play with the cloth napkin. How can you always tell what's in my head? Same way you can tell what's in everyone's head." I frown. "I just look, try to pay attention to what people want. That's what I do, except that I don't care much about most people, but I can't stop paying attention to you. So I look." What?
Fake. Are
Fake.
you kidding me? You're telling me that you just like watch me to like
Figure me out, get to know me, because you like me. What?
what?
It's sickening. It's
Absolutely
sickening.
not.
Okay, and then page 250. This is my no. Okay, it says, "Is that what you want?" He doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he studies me, stern, unreadable, impenetrable, as he hasn't been in a while. And then after a long beat of choosing words carefully, he slowly says, "You and I won't be having sex." And I said, he was going to say, "You and I won't be having sex until..." Let him motherfucking finish. Oh. That's what I said. I was so pissed at the waitress. I was like, who are you to interrupt this conversation right now?
I know, right?
Who do
See,
you
the thing
think you
is
are?
that like when I first read that, I was like, but why, Jack? Okay, I understand, we'll get there, but at this point as a reader, I was like, I don't fucking understand. Like, what do you I mean, at least he was upfront about it. I don't know.
No.
But I felt like that just really left Elsie like
Spiraling,
really,
and how could
yes!
it not? It would send me spiraling. I would be mad insecure about that.
And like I thought he would know that if he didn't finish his sentence. So I'm surprised that he like never really brought it back up again, knowing that he like can tell when she's fucking her head is exploding or whatever.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I was a little confused, but it honestly just made me want to read more. So.
I know, me too. I was like, I gotta figure out what this is.
Yes. Yeah.
And then honestly, I don't have any notes for 18 because it was literally just the lunch with George and then what's his fucking name?
Greg?
Greg. Yeah.
Geronimo. How dare you do Greg dirty like that?
Sorry.
Oh my God. I'm going to be telling Greg.
But no, I don't have any notes because, I mean, it's pretty straightforward what their conversation's about. Like, Greg was kind of like apologizing, like mending their friendship, like they were kind of just moving past their stuff, and he kind of gave her the insight into what Jack felt about her. And then George was like offering her the job, and she was like, "No, Jack has no idea that I'm doing this." So
yes, yeah, which I loved because like I feel like again there's a conflict of interest if Elsie goes to work for Jack, but like not for George though.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's almost a better fit.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna go into chapter 19. Are we ready physically for chapter 19? Because I am not.
No, I don't think
Okay.
so. Okay.
Well, too bad we're gonna go.
You go.
Okay, I have a lot of thoughts, so just bear with me. I will start with my synopsis.
Okay.
Elsie gets ready for another date with Jack, but as she gets in the car with him, her mom calls about another problem with her brothers. Jack determines that they don't have to go out and instead stay inside his apartment to watch all of the Twilight movies. Things get heated between the two of them, and while they don't have sex, they still do a lot of shit. Was I upset that they didn't just like fuck it out? Yes.
Yeah,
because
me too.
why didn't you just do it?
I know, literally. No, literally, you should have just done it.
I know, but was this scene still really hot?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes. Yep. Okay, so let's talk about it. I literally could not handle this moment. So page 264. My dress hits only about mid-thigh when I'm sitting. His eyes follow the line of the hem, stop on my knees, linger for a longer than polite moment. Then his Adam's apple bobs and he turns away. His shoulders rise, then fall. And then he's driving out of the parking lot, looking anywhere but me. This man cannot contain himself. He can't. Like, he is so, like, I can't. I literally can't.
I literally love it. There is nothing I love more than a man who is just like so obsessed.
I know, and he like physically can't wait to just jump her. And I'm like, yes.
I love it. I love it so much.
The fact that this man bought all of the Twilight movies on DVD because he wanted to know her, kill me now. I can't even get my Jack to watch Bridgerton. And this Jack got all of the Twilight movies on DVD. Not even like a Netflix streaming or whatever, like on DVD.
Who does this? I need to know.
Like, it's
I need
insane.
to know. What a girl gotta do.
I know. Honestly,
Elsie
what
did
do I
nothing,
need to do?
and she's just like, he's just like at her. Yep.
Yep, that's exactly
Yep.
it.
Literally, I can't even speak.
Okay. You know what? Okay, this is my third Allie Hazelwood book, like full novel, right? But at this point, I know that she just loves to preface the sex scenes with like 20 pages of dialogue of them talking about fucking, but then not actually doing it. Like, why? What is the point, Theoni?
I know. There's no
What
point.
is the point?
Because I think about that in real life, and it's just like, can you imagine?
Things move faster, especially with the tension that they have. You know what I mean?
I'm like, there's no way they're sitting there talking about it.
Yeah.
Someone gotta do something eventually. Like, come on now.
I know. So, I mean, she does. Elsie goes in for a kiss, and Jack is like, oh, no, it's too soon. Too soon for what, sir? What? Because I see the way you're looking at her.
Literally.
Like,
what are you
want
talking
it.
about?
I know.
God, I'm so sick of this, like, fake, like, it's too soon. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's fucking not, bro.
Yeah.
I cannot stand. She does this every fucking time.
I know. And then
How about you just let him fucking do it?
I know. And then there's this whole like little tiny miscommunication trope, which I was kind of annoyed about, where like Elsie's thinking that Jack doesn't want to fuck her, and then it's basically a hot mess. But then he's like, this is where it took a left turn, okay? Because then he asked her, after that, okay, how do I make you come? And I'm like, when did we get on that topic? Like,
I know.
What are we even talking about now?
But that's the thing. I'm like, okay, so let's either go for it, and you can ask me all those kinds of questions you want, or we're not going to do it, because it felt like whiplash a little.
Yes, it was almost like, why are we making these little tiny things such a big deal? Like, it just like, I was like, what? But then he goes on to say that, like, well, actually, she realizes that, like, she doesn't even know if she likes sex herself, because her enjoyment was never prioritized with JJ. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I understand. And, like, Jack obviously can read her like a goddamn book. And he, like, I'm playing checkers over here, and he's playing fucking chess, trying to, like, hop over Elsie and what she's thinking about. Because obviously, like, she didn't think about that. So at that point, I'm like, okay, Jack, I understand, but it's still annoying why you have to ask her a question, almost a rhetorical question.
I know.
For her to, like, I don't know. Anyways, okay. Finally, Elsie takes off her dress, okay? Thank God, okay?
Thank God. Someone gotta make a move.
I know, someone's gotta do something, okay? And they agree. Technically, Jack agrees to take things slow, and then they finally kiss. And there are a couple of important things that I want to talk about, okay?
Okay.
First and most important, are they doing this against a window with no curtains? Is that what I was reading?
I think so.
Oh my gosh! Literally? What? Are you... What? I can't. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Because I kept remembering Elsie saying, oh, he doesn't have curtains. He doesn't have curtains. I have to get him to have curtains. And then I'm like, oh my God, they're on this windowsill. They're doing this up against a fucking window where
Also,
everyone can see.
This is in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I live in Boston. I know how close these buildings are together.
Yes.
Ain't no way somebody be up fucking against a window and nobody is going to see that. So,
Yeah, no, they'll still see it.
Yep.
Number 2, the fact that Jack has restraint when Elsie's like, oh, I want to have sex, and he's like, no, is so impressive to me. And also poses a question for other Hazelwood men that I wanted to, like, talk about. Like I said, Jack is really impressive that, like, he still said no to sex, but then they still did stuff. Okay, great. I think if B told Levi, let's have sex, he wouldn't have any restraint and just fuck her on the kitchen table right there.
Levi wouldn't give a
He wouldn't give a
crap.
shit.
He'd be like, you said, yeah?
Yeah.
All right,
okay.
let's fucking do it. Yep,
exactly.
100%.
And then Adam, on the other hand, would be like, if like Olive was like, oh, let's have sex, he'd be like, nope, and stop completely and just sit on the other side of the room.
Literally.
So I feel like there are different levels, right? Like
Yes.
Jack is like, no, but then they still did stuff. Levi is just over there in a different world. And Adam is just really, really, really respectful.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was important to distinguish, okay?
Yes.
Bottom of page 282. Oh my god, okay. This is gonna be a lot, but you know, we're gonna go for it, okay?
Alrighty, let's hear it.
Bottom of page 282. If you were any other woman, his palms stroke my knees, shredding my legs apart. If you were anyone but you, I would take you to bed, and I'd fuck you everywhere you let me. His fingers are like electricity, climbing up my inner thighs, lighting up nerve endings. I would go down on you maybe while you're going down on me, and because your tits look like something I'll be dreaming about for decades, I'd ask for permission to come on them. Paint a picture. He reaches the elastic of my panties. I inhale sharp. I clean you up and feed you before taking you home if you wanted me to. So here's the thing, okay? This is what I determined at this sex scene, okay? Jack is a dirty talker.
He is.
Levi is kinky and Adam is vanilla.
Yep. 100%.
Okay. Good.
You're so right. Oh my god.
Okay, I just wanted to like get your thoughts on that because I was like
so right. No, Jack loves the dirty talk.
100%.
He loves it. Mm-hmm.
I was reading that. I was like, oh, you do
if
like
someone
talking.
said that to me,
no spine. Remember? No
and
spine.
said all of that, and then not even all of that, but then to add, I want to like take care of you after.
Yes.
I'm like,
no, I can't. Yeah. Honestly.
I can't handle it. I really can't handle it.
Okay, I have a couple notable quotes that I want to read.
Okay.
First one is on page 284. Oh my god. Okay, page 284. It says, this is what he says.
Okay.
There's something really humbling about having the face of your brother's girlfriend in your head every time you come. Again, dirty talker. I was like, are you kidding me, Jack? What the fuck is happening? Like, when I learned that
was so out of pocket.
I know.
I was like, wow, okay, laying it all out there, I guess.
I know, right?
Crazy shit.
Oh, okay. So the other one is page 287. He says, you sure you don't want 2 fingers, Elsie? And she basically is like, oh, we should try. And then down further on the page, he says, so maybe you like to be full, he says, his voice husky. I was done. Absolutely done. I'm like, how?
This shit is crazy.
It is so crazy.
It's so hot.
It is really
love it.
I know,
really
me
love
too.
It. Oh my
me
god.
too. It's like insane. Again, like
It
dirty
is.
talker. Like I'm like, wow.
I know.
I'm floored.
It's crazy. Ugh.
So then the chapter ends with him coming on her and him saying, be gentle with me, Elsie. That's all I ask. I nearly cried because I was like, this is fake. This is so fake.
I know.
But yeah, chapter 19 was wild, okay?
It was wild.
Yeah. Moving on to chapter 20. So here's my synopsis. Jack invites Elsie to dinner at Greg's place the next day, and she admits to him that she wants to stay the night at his place afterward. They have a brief conversation on where this is going, but Elsie can't accept it just yet. They crawl into bed together, in which Elsie is determined to have sex, but she's too tired. And Jack is too much of a gentleman to initiate anything, and they fall asleep together. This was an adorable chapter.
It was just so cute.
I know. I don't have much, but I just have a couple of like quotes that I wanted to read because, again, it was just so adorable. Okay, so this is what she says. They like hug, and basically he's like, honesty. And she's like, I swallow, buck up. Take a deep breath. I missed you. God, I'm such a weirdo. He nods slowly, as though mulling it over, then offers, I went to campus today to get work done. Instead, I kept wondering how buck wild it would be if I asked you to move in. I let out a surprised laugh. You're a weirdo too. Yeah, have you ever? Nope, total first. What's wrong with us? I think we both know what. I laugh again. What? Come on, Elsie. You know where we're going here. Okay, cute. But I thought that was
a lot.
Yes,
it was way too fast. Like,
yes,
I would
way
get so
too fast.
Overwhelmed. Like, everybody needs a little reassurance that, like, okay, we feel like we're going down the same path.
Yes.
Like, you really like me. Like, we like the direction we're going. Whatever. But y'all have barely been on any dates, and you're already like, we know where we're going.
Yeah,
like,
I know. That's what I was. It felt almost
fast.
too fast, but then too slow, in a weird way. Because it's like, they're taking stuff slow, right? They've gone on dates. They haven't had sex yet, blah, blah. But then he says shit like this, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so fast.
Right?
Like, that's crazy. And so, I don't know. I thought it kind of pulled me in two different directions. But, and then their conversation about sex when she's falling asleep is so cute. Okay, bottom of page 302. He says, go to sleep. What? Why? No. I try to move up, but his arms cage me tighter. We should be having all the sex. In a minute. For now, just close your eyes and be silent for 20 seconds. Why? It's a kink I have. You perv. Like, it's just so funny.
so good. I know.
Like, I love it. But that's all that I have.
Nice. Alrighty. Yeah. Right into chapter 21 and 22. My summary is really short because you'll see why.
Okay.
Chapter 21 is Elsie and Jack waking up and then having sex. In chapter 22, we get even more sex somehow, and it's incredibly hot. In between, though, we get more information about Jack's mother. The chapter ends with Elsie thinking about how she wants to accept George's job offer for many reasons.
Yeah.
I wrote a note, but, like, gosh, like, waking up lazy and, like, kissing someone is so hot. Like, this is what it said. For once, I feel myself, my body. Jack's hand is on my lower back under the hoodie. My feet are wrapped around his shins. His mouth is several inches away, but also accessible, and I reach for it. I aim for a simple peck, suspecting a mess of rotten, eggy morning breath, but there's none of that. He tastes like himself, familiar, and deepens a kiss into something gentle, slow, deliciously lazy. Like, what?
I know. Like, again, it's so fake. Literally so fake.
Literally. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then page 306. Elsie says, I lied. He says, which time? I hate you. Sure. What's this lie you speak of? I said I didn't know, but I do. Know what? I swallow. Where this is going, where we're headed, the two of us. And then, like, it gets all intense, and then he's like, come here. And then that's when shit just...
See, but that's the thing. It's like, I almost feel like they're on two different understandings of, like, where this is going.
Yep,
you know?
Exactly.
And I think that's what... We'll talk about it later, but I think that's what happens at their breaking point. It's just like, I think they were on two different pages.
Because where this is going can mean a lot of different things, okay? Literally, I don't have a lot of quotes for the sex scene. You guys just have to read it because it's literally many, 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 many pages long, okay? Yeah. It was hot. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Page 217, getting into chapter 22. I hide my face in my pillow. This is why I don't sleep in. If I get the amount of rest I actually need, my head-to-mouth filter stops working, and Jack's hand slides down past my stomach. He starts grinding drowsily against my ass, and my mind blanks. Okay, he asks, half asleep. Please. I hook my foot behind his shin. He presses an open-mouthed kiss on the curve of my shoulder. You did say that we might have to work on the sex. I stiffened. If it wasn't good, I said. Was it not good? I thought it was, but what do I know? He's the expert here. I'm sorry, Elsie. Work on how little I last.
It's so hot. It's so
hot.
I hate it.
I hate it. Oh my God. I feel like
what?
I feel like coming fast, like, guys can get insecure about that or something, but then it's like when a guy just admits how hard it is for him because he's so attracted to you and so into you, that's hot.
I know. That is what makes it hot. Like, it's like...
Okay, no, but I feel like after they first had sex, then it was scene after scene. So then they have that sex
Yeah.
scene. Then they have a hot little scene in the shower. I'm like, what
It's
is...
honestly, it's like when it started, it never stopped.
No, literally.
And I loved it.
I loved it too.
I loved it.
Okay, okay, page 319. Elsie said the cutest thing ever. She said, "Nothing." He shrugs at my startled laugh, then throws me over his shoulder to take me downstairs. I feel like a sparkly drink. I don't know why, but that's just a really cute description of like feeling happy with the guy.
I know. And I think Elsie's just like so cute and it fits her so well the way that she would
know.
describe it that way. Like I loved it. Yeah.
Oh, me too. Okay. Okay, 321. Then I actually started crying. His biceps bunch up when he leans his palm against a table. "Show me how it works," he repeats. It sounds like a soft order, and I answer with a soft question. Why? Because I want to know these things. He's literally like observing and trying to learn how to do her like insulin pump for her.
I know.
That is so thoughtful and sweet and genuine and incredible. I don't even know what else to say about it.
When I read that, I was like, nothing else compares. Like,
No,
I'm like, are
nothing
you...
else-
like, what else could you offer to do to make you even better? Oh, this.
I know, right? And I feel like it's not quite, but it's kind of an acts of service thing.
Yes, it is.
And so I know you eat that shit up.
I do. That's why when I read it, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because no one in the fucking world would ever do that. No one.
Literally no one.
I can't. Literally.
Okay, so page 324 is basically when we find out that Dr. L was the one who screwed Jack's mom over.
Yes.
And I thought that was so juicy. I loved that little like
Me too.
plot twist. Like,
Yes.
and I we had been knowing that he sucked, but we just didn't quite know why or why we felt off about it. And then this, I
know.
was like,
Honestly, I was eating up the connections because I was like,
Same.
there has to be something more to this. Like, we know his mom is a theorist, but once we knew that Dr. L, like, connected them all, I was like, yes!
I know, it was so good. This part made me sick. Elsie, I can't watch this, but it's the best part, the emotional roller coaster of her transformation, the inappropriate Jacob plotline, her face when she drinks blood. No way. Fine, you may amuse yourself otherwise, but stay close. But stay close, because you're a space heater disguised as an organic life form. Perfect. He lifts me like I'm a pliant little thing, flips us around, braces himself over me. I can only watch him in confusion while he lowers himself down my body with a concentrated frown between his brows, and then lifts my hoodie as though, is he? He's not. Is he actually? What are you doing? You told me to amuse myself. I sit up on my elbows. I meant take another nap or do today's Wordle. Just watch your movie, Elsie. And then he proceeds to go down on her. Are you fucking
I
for real?
threw up. I threw up.
I actually died at that part. I was like,
Me too.
I literally felt her stream of conscious. I was like, no, he's not. He's not actually doing that, is he? And then he motherfucking did. And you want to know what else he said? On page 326, or no, page 326, he said, I cling to the sweaty muscles of his back, feel my entire body shake when he orders, eyes on me. My lids flutter open and we both come. God, there is nothing like the eyes on me line.
I am telling you, it is like, he's not kinky, he's just like dirty talk for him.
Yup.
Like that is, it's just like a different level for him and I'm here for it. I am here for it.
Those two chapters were it was just like sex,
Yeah.
sex, like constantly.
I
was
loved
like,
it.
Holy mother freaking crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have for those chapters.
Very nice. Thank you for taking us through that sexcapade.
You're very welcome. I didn't mind at all.
Okay, so diving into chapter 23, here is my synopsis.
Okay.
Elsie is invited over to George's house for a game night. George asks Elsie about the job offer, but Elsie says she still needs to talk to Dr. L about it. Jack confesses that he wrote the article to sabotage Dr. L's career just the same way he sabotaged her mom's career. Elsie discovers that Jack has been lying to her this entire time. They get into a massive fight and call things off. I knew that this was coming because there was too much sex where I was like, okay, when is like the other shoe gonna drop? So I was like prepared for it.
I was like, because now things are so good.
Yes, exactly. even though I saw it coming, it still like made me really sad that
Me too.
they kind of had a falling out. Okay, I wanted to call out page 333 when they see each other, and it's like so cute. It's like in the kitchen and the world stops and she just like kisses him, and I felt like that was such a great show of like the love and care that they have for each other. It's like nothing else in the world matters except them, and I loved reading it. Like Allie Hazelwood wrote it perfectly.
So good. Ugh.
Okay, so we were saying that like, oh, Jack's love language is acts of service. I also think his other love language is physical touch, because the way he's touching Elsie on page 334 is insane. I would have jumped him right there and then. Like when she's like sitting in his lap for go, and like his hand is like under her shirt, on her torso. I'm like, how are you surviving?
I know.
Like, oh my
literally,
gosh.
Again, it's the little moments. It's just like, I feel like if I'm in the presence of someone that you like that could be enough sometimes, but then the little touches and whenever I'm like, whoa.
Oh, it's too much.
It's crazy.
Honestly too much. Yeah.
Yo, that shit crazy.
I was wondering if you knew what was up Andrea's ass, because I thought she was jealous.
Again.
But then I took this convo that she has with Jack as her more being mad that Jack is involved with the theorist. But then I was like, wait, but that doesn't make any sense, because then like George is so keen on having Elsie in her lab, so it must be jealousy, right? And I just like was really confused.
I think Andrea was jealous, but again, I feel like this was just another little side thing that just another thing. I was like, did we really need this happen? Like, it just felt like another character that kind of came out of the woodworks just for a plot thing. And I was like, I feel like you could have brought the same conflict about in a way with who is already there.
I agree. You know? Like, we already knew that was a point of conflict for them already from the beginning. So it's like, how could you have brought it up but without dragging Andrea in? Because it literally made no sense.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So top of page 338. Here is what I was talking about when it's like they're moving so slow but so fast. This is what he says to Andrea when they're in the fight. She is if she wants to be. She can be my damn wife if she wants to be. I was like, sir, let's take
so much.
Let's take a step. Let's take 10 steps back, okay? Literally. Like, we don't have to go. I don't know. It was just kind of weird for me.
No, it was too intense. Again, I'm like, why do we have to jump to that? Like, we get it. Like, we get it.
I know. So, let's talk about this fight that they get into, which, like, breaks my heart. Jack is basically accused Dr. L of doing the same thing he did to his mom to Elsie. But Elsie doesn't believe it. And then Elsie asks why he didn't warn Elsie about it before and how he lied to her on multiple occasions and blah, 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 all that stuff. And Jack says that he didn't tell her because he wouldn't believe her, which I understand, but I feel like that argument isn't so big to end it the way that they did. You know what I mean?
I know.
I don't know. I feel like they blew it up.
It was so explosive, especially after what they already got over.
Yes.
With him kind of lying about the job. And so I feel like maybe if they had played up the fact that, like, now Elsie feels like this is, like, a pattern where he's, like, withholding information. I don't know.
I mean, I kind of understand it because it's, like, Elsie thinks it's a double standard where it's, like, Jack is withholding something because he thinks someone is gonna react badly. And that's what Elsie lives by. So part of me is like, okay, I understand the whole standard, like, the double standard that is happening. But I don't think that's too... I feel like you could have worked it out. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have to end that way.
Okay.
And then basically this chapter ends with the question of where they're going now. And they're kind of like on opposite sides of the spectrums. And then they go their separate ways because Elsie needs to think. Which is so weird. Like, I was like... I don't know.
I feel like there's so many ways. If Jack was so intense about this and Elsie was... at the same point as him where they knew where it was going, why Was it like, let's take space and revisit this later? Why was this the most like explosive thing?
I know.
So it was a little unbelievable.
Me too. That was my problem too. So.
Yeah.
All right, jumping into chapter 24. I don't have much about this one, but here is my synopsis. Elsie finally meets with Dr. L about George's job offer. She learns that Dr. L hasn't told her that multiple people were interested in Elsie joining their labs, and finally realizes that Jack was right about him. I will say I loved how Dr. L became like the main baddie at the end, because once
Okay, wait. The main bad guy, not baddie, because I feel like the baddie is a totally different thing.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know. Is Dr. L a baddie to you? I don't know. I guess maybe you have a secret type. I don't know.
No, please. My type is only Jack, Jesus Christ Superstar Smith Turner.
Best nickname ever.
But like I was saying, I was so focused on Jack in the first half of the book, and when she didn't get the job offer, I liked how it like switched to Dr. L, which I thought was like very different for me, because I feel like Love on the Brain was like very linear. The main villain was like a question the entire time, so I really liked the way that she kind of pivoted. And then the only other thing that I have for this chapter is that I love that Elsie finally stood up for herself and realized that Dr. L was a slimy asshole. And her mic drop at the end when she was like telling Dr. L to call her Elsie instead of Elise, I was like, oh, I'm here for it.
This book, kind of like we were talking about last week, has a lot of weird name things, and Elise / Elsie was another one of those things.
Yeah,
and I understand why it worked, but it was just like interesting to me.
Yeah.
So, okay, chapter 25, 26, I actually don't have a lot for them.
Yeah.
Because again, I feel like after their conflict, it was just like the chapters were like, okay, tying up this storyline, like coming to this conclusion, you know, like it was kind of just finishing everything up.
Yep.
But anyways, okay. In chapter 25, we discovered that Elsie reported Dr. L to the board and accepted the job at MIT with George, who is very excited about this. Then Elsie finds her way home, still sorting through her feelings with Jack when she comes clean to Cece. In chapter 26, we discovered that Jack wrote a letter to the magazine, finally being honest about what he wrote. This gives Elsie the confidence she needs to finally go back, be honest with him, and so he can be honest back. Jack is there and is content until Elsie is too, but she's committed to doing so. So, again, Jack was kind of like, okay, well, however much time you need, but I'll go in order. Okay. Unless you have something to say first.
No, you go.
Okay. So, there is this line on page 357, and I just thought it was like really beautiful, honestly. I think it was really important for, like, it was an important moment for Elsie, and it also kind of reminded me, like we were saying last week, of Happy Place, just this theme of like being happy. She said,
oh yeah,
and about 10 seconds into that, something breaks through the foggy haze of the past few days. I feel selfishly, beautifully happy. I just chose something on my own, for my own, without first building a sophistical theoretical model of other people's advice, preferences, and needs, without the nagging feeling that the only path I could take was the one pre-trodden for me. This decision is all mine. I just like that was like completing her character arc perfectly for me. I was like, so I love that. Also, and it's so simple but so beautiful.
I know, but see, that's the thing. It's like it looks so simple on the page, but I think Allie Hazelwood did a good job of building it up and having, maybe that's the whole point of having so many different storylines, of so many different people telling Elsie to do something. And so I think now at the end, it was just like her decision. I was like, I love it.
I know, me too. Okay, page 358, another little shout out that I just have to mention. Okay, so Elsie says, yes, absolutely, I'd love to hear all about it. She grins, and then almost abruptly doesn't. I really didn't think you were going to accept. I nod. I know. My heart beats a little harder, but in the end, it was an easy choice because I wanted to. I leave with the promise to meet her for drinks next week when her friend B is in town. Like,
I screamed.
What the heck?
I fucking screamed.
screamed.
Because I was like, you know what? I got my Adam and Olive, and we got the little,
Yep.
like, what would Marie do at the beginning?
Yep.
But actually B, I was like,
I know. No, I know. I literally loved it.
I love it. I literally
and
love
again, none of the cameos felt forced, and I feel like
Yeah.
they could have, but they didn't. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, I think in general on page 362 when she was confessing all these things that she dislikes to Cece, I think it was just like, and then Cece got really emotional about it. I think it made me realize like just how deep the people pleasing went for her.
Yeah.
And like it just becomes second nature, and like the people around you, like it can lead to them feeling like they don't know you, and obviously Cece and her worked it out because obviously they love and care for each other, but it was just a moment for me. I was like, whoa.
Me too.
Crazy.
No, seriously, for me too as well, because I don't think about the weight that has, and I love that Allie Hazelwood took that moment to like really give them the space, and also to give the space to Cece to realize and kind of mourn that in shock. But yeah, no, that hit a little too close to home, because then I was thinking, I was like, who do I people please?
Literally,
Like,
I said, I'm rethinking my life over here.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, I just said when he wrote the letter, I was like, of course he had to right his wrongs and make up for it. Like, I knew there had to be some bigger solution to that. Yeah, I mean, it felt like I liked it. You know, I thought it made sense, but...
Yeah, it felt like the X talk, like at the end when he goes on air, which I thought was super cute. I thought this was good too, but also the fact that like everyone respects Jack. Like crazy amount of respect. So I feel like that was like the best power move that he could have done. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Page 375. Right, the article. I know you wrote it because it was overdue and not because of me, but both. I still wanted to. What did you say? It was overdue, and I did it for you. My mouth is sand dry. For me, he nods, and his amusement shifts into something more serious. What you said was true, and it was the right thing to do, but also, Elsie, there's very little I wouldn't do for you. Like, he doesn't care what it means for him. He doesn't care. He just wants to make her happy. That's it.
He would literally walk miles and miles over mountains across the fucking ocean to do anything for her, and it literally pains me.
I know.
I just love him so much.
I know, me too. Okay. The last one I have, page 377.
Okay.
This quote hit so hard for me because I was like, this exemplifies like what I would want in someone that I end up with.
Yeah.
Okay? Basically what's going on is Elsie's giving him a little speech. Okay. I'm gonna just read it. Okay. Because I accepted George's offer and I'll be working here next year. His smile widens with undeniable happiness, then stops abruptly when I add, and because I hate you, Jack, I feel something warm on my lips, salty too. I hate you, and it's pretty annoying since I think I might also. I shake my head. And you're right, I am terrified, scared shitless that the more you know me, the less you'll like me, and I loathe it sometimes. He gives me a confused, curious look, like he knows that I'm complicated, but he doesn't mind, like he'd rather spend the rest of his life studying an inch of me than discovering the mysteries behind the universe. The part, like he knows that I'm complicated, but he doesn't mind, that is love, man.
Yeah.
That is love.
And that he'd like rather explore her than the universe as a sign.
Yep.
I'm like, are you kidding me right
No,
now?
are you kidding me?
Kidding? This is fake.
Yep. It's literally fake. Yeah. So, anyways, that's all I have for those chapters. I think you
Very
have notes on
nice.
the epilogue, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
So I have a quick synopsis. I don't have too many like comments on it, but here is my synopsis. 8 months later, okay, we get a time jump. Elsie has a plan for Jack, but throughout the week it keeps getting pushed off. We learn that a paper that she and George wrote together has been accepted into nature physics. The plan finally comes to fruition at the end when Elsie surprised Jack at his office with his Hadron Collider in Jell-O and a note that says she's right there with him. I have one quote that I want to read on page 382, sorry. This is when she's talking to her mom. And this is what This is a conversation. This is what her mom says. She says, has he proposed yet? I laugh. Mom, it's been less than a year. That's plenty of time. I don't need him to ask me to marry me, I say, distracted. Why not? Because I already know that he wants to. I don't know why. I screamed because I was like, there's just something so different when you guys just both know, right? Where it's like not a surprise, but it's like you just both know. And also too, it's like Jack is the kind of person who's like dying to propose. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he's literally just waiting for Elsie to give him the okay.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I feel like that's kind of what the end of that chapter was.
Yes.
Was her being like, you know what?
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm ready when you are. Yeah.
I will say, was I upset that I did not get a proposal? You know me and my proposals.
You love a proposal.
I love a proposal.
Yeah.
I was a little upset, okay, but I was fine with it because I also thought that throughout this book there was, again, they were moving so fast but so slow. So a part of me was like, okay, this epilogue really made them take a step back and like breathe, and then they're finally able to move on. So I was like, okay, you know what? That makes sense. I'll accept it even though I wanted a proposal, but it's fine. But yeah, no, it was super cute because I think, obviously Jack gives her the space to figure her shit out. Like, the person that he is, and then she just surprises him and is like, oh, I'm ready. Ugh. And that's the end of the book.
I know. Overall, I loved it. It certainly is. It's pretty close to the love hypothesis. Nothing will ever beat the love hypothesis for me.
No.
But I loved this book a lot. Like, I really, really did. And I thought it was so well done.
I agree. Wow. Yeah. This one is up there for me. Like, it was just so fun to read.
It was.
You know what I realized? We didn't do a fan cast.
I know. We've been forgetting them.
I know we have. I'm sorry.
We got to get back to it next time.
Yeah.
I literally was thinking that just as we were talking.
Yeah. It's fine. I mean, I don't think I would even be able to cast Jack, honestly.
Let me see if there's anything online just to see. But I don't think I would be able to, like, I honestly don't think I'd be able to cast either, but let's see. I already fucking hate this shit.
What?
Like, that's a thing. Okay, so for Elsie, there's a few people listed so far. Okay. So we have Troy and Belisario.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have Lucy Hale.
Okay.
I don't trust her after the hating game.
Me neither.
Then Anna Kendrick, which is so wrong.
Oh, how interesting.
And then Barbara Palvin.
So I could see Anna in like the little goofy kind of like quirky way that Elsie is, but I don't think anything else. Well, who was the last one? Barbara who?
Barbara Palvin. Dylan Sprouse's fiance.
Oh.
The model.
Maybe?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Some of these are so fucked. For Jack. Okay, ready? So the first one is Dominic Sherwood.
Oh, no.
Yep.
No.
The other one, Liam Hemsworth.
No. No.
Alexander Skarsgård.
No, he's way too old.
I know. And then you want to know who's really too old? Josh Duhamel.
Oh?
Who suggested that? That makes no sense.
Josh could honestly be Dr. L.
Yeah, literally, he could.
Wow,
that's so
interesting.
True.
Yeah, I hate all those.
Old. Yeah, and then there's some for George, but I don't really give a fuck.
Okay,
so.
cool.
Yeah. But anyways, it's so interesting what some people think of. I'm like, did we read the same book?
I know, right?
You just have horrible taste.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, Selena, so what is our topic for next week?
Next week, Theoni and I will be doing another favorite of ours, which is a hot takes episode. Mm-hmm. I love them, even though they get a little heated.
They do.
But it's good conversation, you know?
Mm-hmm. It is. Good conversation. We love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.